Yes, I know this is my third or fourth time banging on video about inheritance tax. It is, however, a topic which has become particularly hot following the changes in the last budget, pensions, business property relief and so on. Already much discussed here and on these pages. And those changes have made a lot of clients worry that there's worse to come. She doesn't like anyone with money, she'll take everything, there'll be nothing left to pass on to our children and so on. Now my view is that I doubt they'll do anything more because IHT really is such an unpopular tax, even if, as they always tell us, very few estates actually pay it. And you really can only plan on the basis of what you know and not what may or may not happen or be brought in a future budget. Otherwise, you'll either end up doing nothing or are as likely to do the wrong thing as you are to forecast what might actually happen. Anyway, I wanted to talk today about trusts and how they may or may not help with any planning to reduce the burden, as it's often called, of inheritance tax. Now, there are many misconceptions about what trusts can and can't do, and it's something we are often asked about. This week, for example, some clients told me that they were told by a friend that he's putting his mother's house in trust at the suggestion of a will writer at a cost of over £6,000, and this would supposedly avoid both care fees and inheritance tax. No. If she carries on living in the house, even if it's in trust, it's likely to be treated as hers for inheritance tax. The technical term is a reservation of benefit. In other words, she's only given it away on paper, but is still actually enjoying full use of it. As for care fees, well, the local authority won't pay unless pretty much all of the rest of any savings have gone, and they can still come after you if they think you've done it deliberately, if you have to go into care soon after. And do you really want to end up in a local authority care home, assuming that there are actually any available? Now, you can just put money and assets, savings and investments into trust, provided you live for 7 years and it's clear that you can't have any access to them, then they would be outside of your estate for inheritance tax purposes. There are potentially quite a few income and capital gains tax issues which will need careful consideration before and after doing it, and it's going to be more costly than simply giving the money or funds away, which is perhaps the easier option unless there are family complications, as there sometimes are. If you can't afford to give your investments away because you need the income from them, then there are some more complicated trusts called discounted gift and gift and loan trusts, which allow you to give the money away, again on the understanding that you can never get at it again, and still have a regular income for your lifetime. Now, we used these a lot, probably 20 or 30 years ago, much less so now as they are complicated, sometimes pretty much impossible to unravel if things change, as they sometimes do, and you still need to live 7 years to make them effective. And the taxman looks at them with a very close and beady eye, as a rule, when someone dies. Now, trusts are complicated, and I know I'm going at a canter here and actually only scratching the surface. Suffice to say that there are these days very few circumstances when we'd say they're a good idea for IHT planning, unless, once again, it's for life insurance, which can be paid into a trust on death and be outside of the estate from day one. See previous episodes and articles.